Всем привет! Сегодня мы продолжаем проходить сюжетку. Прошли мы первую часть. Теперь погнали на вторую часть. Вторая часть у нас... Так. Погнали. У меня вот эти снова Барбара. Я забыл ее поменять. В принципе, ладно, в принципе. Все равно драться не обязательно здесь, в принципе. Надеюсь, драться не надо. Вот, по сути, разница. Дополнительная реакция. Дайте так.
Paimon's so tired from trying to keep up. Don't either of you need to take any breaks?
I can't believe it.
Huh? Did we miss her?
She doesn't like to travel, so in the past, it's always been the other Adepti who come to visit her during the festivals. True. Now that I think about it, Cloud since she's not here, I guess the next step is to check all the other...
Uh-oh. Will it involve a lot more... Got it!
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus that helped divorce. We can't hear any music right now, but if she's really as nice as the story suggests...
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall into the water, and the Adeptus will come to the rescue. You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim. Paimon would sink like a rock. Just trust Paimon. The water's pretty deep over there.
Что туда-то, блин, тут? Здесь нельзя, что ли? Рыба.
Help! Help! Someone's drowning! If only there was a kind-hearted Adeptus here to save us! Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
What is going on?
Слушай, текстуры, братан. Шаньхэйся, ну здравствуйте.
How do you feel right now?
Да, очень.
Shenhe! And the
Why don't you say something? Okay, fine. Paimon we're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard and playing music. But if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how are we supposed to...
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most...
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know.
Okay. No way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna be.
Glad you're okay.
Сейчас испарится. Оп.
As far as I know,
Давай.
the one you seek is no Yaksha. And your actions here caused others a great deal of worry.
Оп. Ну да, испарился.
As ever, the conqueror of demons comes and goes, just like the wind. Right. I didn't... How's your training going, Shenhe? Have you made any plans for Lantern Rite? We could spend it together in Liyue Harbor if you'd like. Oh, I had planned to spend the festival with Master this... Oh, speaking of Cloud Retainer, when did... Earlier this morning. She set off for Mount Hulao at dawn. I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind to protect a mechanism that looked like a boiler. So we just missed her. Please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave the gift in her abode. Sure. Thank you.
It sounds like Ganyu and Shenhe have gotten a lot...
Yes. During the summer and winter, I continued to train with Master. In the other months of the year, Ganyu arranged accommodations for me in the city, and also recommend... But when I try to blend in by referring to her as Miss Ganyu or Lady Ganyu, like, Sometimes I'm supposed to copy other people. Sometimes I'm not. It's a little difficult to keep track of everything. Oh, is that what it is? So, you came looking for Master today because you wanted to ask her—
Yep. Oh, speaking of that, have you ever heard any music?
Music? What is that?
It's...
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us. We won't—
Yay! That's really helpful.
We were just talking about this thing called music. And based on Paimon's description—
Oh, really?
Финально. И... Наверное.
this is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
Oh no! Paimon's gone deaf! Paimon can't hear anything!
Что-то чувствую.
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of the streams.
Oh. Okay, fine. It's all Paimon's fault. What we're looking for?
Oh. And a melody is? Huh?
Hey, why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before? It'll probably help her to understand what we're talking about.
Oh, was that from the opera that Yunjin sang?
That was a melody, and melodies can be...
It felt like I was transported back to the past. In my mind's eye. We're all there, raising our glasses. And as I watched Yunjin's performance, I felt a warm sensation in my heart. When you hummed that melody just now, feelings from a whole year ago came right back. So that's the power of...
Wow, Shenhe. Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time capsule with all the special... What about you, Ganyu? Are there any melodies that have left a deeper...
I don't remember if my parents ever sang any lullabies to me. I know some local folk songs. And a few other things come to mind. The songs of the sailors down at the docks. The little ditties that the vendors call out in front of their beloved shops. The tunes of folk artists. Yes, that's right. In the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, Nanny and Leo probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans' artistic expression and at least, that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start to realize that the way those melodies make me feel isn't all that different from other people after all. They're about mundane details of... Even though we come from different backgrounds and have different stories to tell, when it comes down to the most common things, that in that sense, we're all the same.
You go, Ganyu! You're really making progress. You have loads of friends in Liyue Harbor when you think about it.
Yes, I am. Technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional forms of address used among fellow disciples. But now that Thank you, everyone. Once the days are warmer, I would like to host you at my home in the city. Please invite Kuching as well. I've planted many types of flowers. I'm sure some... You are too kind. I couldn't... Nonsense. You are my friend. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers just as you taught me. Once you've seen them for yourself, I am sure you can advise... I will save some for decoration. We can feast on. Then, thank you in advance. Wait, what does that say? Do people say that? I'm.
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girls' night out. Eating flowers? Really? Does this even...
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that illuminated bird?
Master. Our greetings, Cloud Retainer.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
Double humph. Now she has the gall to use it rather than she. Even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and one has received your message from Ganyu. On the matter of the Adeptus you seek, well, shall one lead the way?
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory dishes.
If you want to release a Shao Lantern, come and find us anytime. Thank you, everyone. Happy Lantern.
Да. Че сюда? Так. Сука, не успел. Спиздить цветок.
Is this... Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you ever heard of her? Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extra long ago. This region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friend. Seagazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart. Though usually a mild...
Paimon remembers that name. So that's what Seagate...
He was an old friend and a former rival. One has many memories of him. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor one was content to let him... As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments and our His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground. How
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us.
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever hope to beat me? She always sought to make everyone happy. And one must say, she had quite the gift for it. No matter what nonsense she said, it also helped that she never referred to one as that illuminated bird, or
Come on, get over yourself!
Anyway, just as our impassioned arguments would reach the apex of acrimony, who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you see yourselves ever Then you are most tolerant. But that is its own virtue. Even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. As we ate, Guizhong would continue to find topics for conversation. Each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinacy. So why we would drink together from a spot high in the mountains until the moon set and the sun rose, An old Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode. The glazed...
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping. You probably know her as Madam Ping.
Понятно.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a lovely story and everything, but didn't we come here to find that Adeptus from Mr. Dvorak's story?
Что это, мадам Пин, что ли?
Or are you saying that it was Guizhong?
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precisely that reason. One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning with your incessant questioning. No matter, one will share the whole story with you now.
Давай. Ясно.
In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Guizhong's Obscuro Vulpus mechanism was superior. Though one was too proud to acknowledge it, in one's heart, one knew that Guizhong was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Guizhong and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Guizhong's opinion, while mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly, until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili Plains. Guizhong was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetwood Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetwood Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No. It's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
One has always been austere and private by nature, and has never relished socializing. One's dealings with Guizhong.
What? You have lots of friends, and you seem pretty chatty.
Just because one is not ignorant of social graces does not mean one is fond of them. One is perfectly capable, but in the end, one is nothing like Streetward Rambler. She is dauntless but thoughtful, not to mention eloquent and wise. Back when they were rivals, they would often compete against one another in the realm of musical composition. That cleansing bell was one of Guizhong's proudest works, having the ability to both compose.
Wait, that's weird. Didn't Madam Ping say she pestered an old friend for that bell? And she also said something about being a vain beauty when she was young, or...
Streetward Rambler, a vain beauty. That bell has a sad history. Clearly, she refrained from sharing with you the truth of its origin. As for her old friend, who else? As soon as Streetward Rambler heard that a certain Zhang Li wished to borrow the bell. She realized that the man was, after all, we all have known each other for several millennia.
Whoa! So they were talking in secret code?
Enough of your intrusions. The cleansing bell is powered by a mechanical art and can be used to great effect as an accompanying instrument. But Streetward Rambler did not acquire it from Rex Lapis for the purpose of producing further funerary tunes. No. Each time she rang it, the two once clashed over their beliefs about the meaning of music. Who would have thought that with Gui Zhang's passing and Streetward Rambler's mourning... Once upon a time, Streetward Rambler also loved gatherings, liquor, and music. But after Gui Zhang passed, she preferred her own company. The music would go from mournful to soothing to... Many years passed before she finally composed a melody to our satisfaction. In celebration, she played the tune to the clouds, which brings one back to the matter you've been investigating. Perhaps it was during that performance that the ancestor of your Fontaine...
But if she was so happy with the melody, why would she only play it?
One was also greatly perplexed by this. After suppressing one's curiosity for a long while, in response she said, though the strings that played that melody survive, the one who inspired it is gone. Tell me, Cloud Retainer, when the one attuned to my soul is no longer...
Aw, poor Madame Ping.
I just remember being taken care of by you when I was young. Once the Archon War came to an end, I stayed behind and although I met Gui Zhang a few times, I never knew anything of this particular...
Gui Zhang was quite the visionary, but tragically passed before her time. Her manuscripts still lie unfinished in the realm of clouds. Had you not decided to search for that mystery Adeptus, perhaps these stories too... As of now, you know the truth. That the Adeptus who rescued the drowning man was none other than Streetward Rambler. Do you intend to discuss this with her?
Do you mean Ping might find the topic too distressing?
Precisely. The passing of our old friend is a heavy topic that both of us are usually...
If I may be so bold, Cloud Retainer, could it be that...
Oh? How so?
I've been in Leo Harbor for quite a long time now, and I've witnessed many farewells along the way, but this doesn't bring the city or its people to us. Someone as perceptive and wise as Ping will surely have come. Though these immortal mountains have lost an Adeptus, the harbor of no loss can ever be undone. But there is always much that can still... Ping has helped countless people, and will guide many others in the years to come. And all to whom she extends a helping hand, because though it is heartbreaking to lose a kindred spirit, life goes on. Because there are...
We even asked Madame Ping what she thought about adding a music festival to this year's Lantern Rite. When we get back, why don't we just ask her if she'd like to perform? Maybe we can...
You youngsters and your imagination...
Why don't you come with us? It's been a long time since you last spoke with Ping. And Leo...
Is not every Lantern Rite the same in this regard? Were there ever anything new to discuss? One in Ping could meet any...
I disagree. Each new day and each new year is different from those that have come before. How long will you simply let them pass you by?
The edibles she brought this time weren't very well. Then one will be off. If the other old fossils have sneaked away into the city to amuse themselves, one shall soon find out.
All right. We should be getting back to the harbor as well. Once the Guelius... Say, if we planted flowers there and cared for them carefully enough...
Allow one to take back one's praise from a moment prior. You are still far too given to flight...
What? Cloud Retainer?
One observed that you were making no effort to leave, and returned to chasten and hasten you.
Нагрузка на комп идет еще как-нибудь. Так. Ух, еба. А, настолько не прогружено, блять, что. Хара лагать, блять. Так, ладно, разберемся с тобой.
Something on your mind again? Let's work through it together. Two heads are better than...
Ой, хара лагать.
Whoa! Madam Ping and Cloud Retain...
It appears you made haste after all. One arrived but moments before you.
Oh, bless my soul.
Miss Illuminated Bird, haven't you said anything yet?
Said what, precisely? And why should one be tasked with saying?
Cause you're the one who's known Madam Ping the longest.
Street word. Or rather, presumably.
Oh, Cloud Retainer, you are...
One, given that Lantern Rite is almost upon us, the weather in the city is most pleasant, and a sweet... Ganyu, please continue from here.
Huh? All right. So, this all started because we were trying to help Mr. Dvorak find the Adeptus who saved... Cloud Retainer informed us that the one who played that melody and rescued the drowning man was none other than yourself.
Ah, let me think. What a long time ago that was. And even more astonishing, perhaps, is the fact that this story has survived this long at all, when mortal lives are... It appears that she has proven herself right.
Who's she?
We like to call her Guizhong. From the look in Cloud Retainer's eye...
Albeit reluctantly.
There is no harm done. After all, Lantern Rite's very purpose is to commemorate the hero. Although Guizhong did not live to see the splendid sights of today.
So, how has she proven herself?
Once upon a time, she said to me that humans were a weak form of life. But as she interacted more and more with them, her opinions on them, she marveled at the beautiful complexity of their spirits, the sheer splendor of all that. She told us that to underestimate human potential with the smallest amount of guidance, and a human who has reached their full potential may well be her equal.
She always had a way with words. That her mechanical accomplishments were judged superior to one's own was...
Speaking of mechanics, Cloud Retainer, do you still remember that potted plant mechanism? The one...
Of course. Guizhong and one both put an immense amount of effort into that gift. It would be no...
As Guizhong once said, it takes every blade of grass and every flower to make... When I see the sight of Liyue Harbor before us today...
Madam Ping looks very emotional right now.
Of all of us, it was Guizhong who was the If she were still with us, I'm quite sure she would still be trying to best Cloud...
Liyue Harbor is always filled with the sound of music at this time of the year. If she were here, one is...
Oh, yeah! Music! We've been dying to ask. What was the melody that you... Oh, also, with you being such a music expert and all...
I can make arrangements right away.
Oh, as much as I don't wish, it's been a long time since I played this zither. My finger... And whenever I play that tune, it always reminds me of her. There was a period of time whenever I started strumming, it almost felt like she was back again. Sitting right, no matter how much time goes by. The moment that melody starts playing, it transports me right back.
So the past still weighs heavily on your heart?
Well, I would be lying to myself if I claimed to have. But that is not to say that grief doesn't get easier. Despite the sadness, I have found many things that bring me joy in life. It is simply the nature of the world in which we live that... Just look at this potted plant. Isn't it stunning?
It takes an honest and open mind to confront and conquer grief. You have indeed made progress.
Be that as it may, I shall leave the lantern rite stage to the youth of today.
Well, if you're
Granny! Whoa, what's everyone doing here?
Ah, and now we've spooked Yanfei. No, everyone's just here to...
Oh, that's wonderful, I'm glad. Well, in that case, happy Lantern Rite, everyone.
Happy Lantern Rite. Oh, I just remembered that I have some, work to do at you. I will leave Mr. Dvorak in your capable hands. Cloud Retainer?
Huh? Does it have to be right now? Which case is this again? Hey!
It seems Ganyu still has much to learn.
What a pity. She has learned nothing of one's ability to carry a conversation.
Since it's been so long, Cloud Retainer, why don't you stay? I'll make a cup of tea and we can...
Gladly. This was one's intention as well.
When you next see the Fontaine musician, please give him my regards. I'd like to wish him the very best.
You got it, Madam Ping.
Thank you all. I think you've listened to enough of mine. As for that melody, I will play it for you all another time. Goodness knows.
Wow, that'd be great. We'll look forward to it.
When that time comes, wherever her spirit may be among the countless grains of sand and specks of dust between the harbor and the mountain.
All right, let's go tell Mr. Dvorak the news.
Телепорт есть. И можем телепортироваться, пофиг. А вот лаги, блять, сука. Неужели это из-за фонарей? Блин, вряд ли это из-за фонарей. Хоры лагать. Я сейчас вниз буду смотреть. Все, будем такси. Или даже так отпили. Он не доживет, походу, вообще. Все равно он вообще сдохнет. Если еще касцена еще будет, вообще охренеть будет. Просто минус плеть. Вообще сдохнет.
Mr. Dvorak! Ah, and Kuching's here too. Thanks for helping set all of this up.
Welcome back. Did everything go well?
Really, really well. We found the person Mr. Dvorak was looking for.
Мы нашли лаги, блять, лаги, представляешь?
Are you serious?
Да, представляешь?
I see. So the melody my ancestor heard was an adeptus remembering her late friend? That certainly explains why it was such a powerful and poignant tune.
Huh. That's a really interesting first reaction. Guess that comes...
I have to say, though, it's hard to believe that the fairy from the tale is now an elderly granny.
Oh, Paimon knows exactly what you mean. Norma, but Streetward Rambler, or Madam Ping as we know her, probably only...
Madam Ping possesses vast knowledge and great wisdom. Whatever physical form she may decide to take, her mind and wits are...
Yep, Kuching summed it up perfectly. That's exactly what Paimon was trying to...
I think... yes. That can wait until after the concert, though. For now, I need to devote all my emotional...
Ah, speaking of, Madam Ping wishes you all the best with the... Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that she'll stay in her usual spot, but
Wait, are you serious? Oh no, now I'm starting to get nervous.
Давайте без катен, пожалуйста. А мы комп выдержит просто охуеть, как выдержит.
Okay, alright. Nope, Another rehearsal is in order. Please excuse me, everyone.
Давай без косцены, пожалуйста, братан. Без косцены.
Mr. Dvorak? He's already gone. Paimon wasn't even finished
Ой,
telling
нам
him
сейчас будет
everything.
пиздец.
Before we set off on our search with Ganyu, he asked Isabel what music means to people. After our recent adventure, Paimon thinks we have a lot.
Please, share your insights with me.
Well, we found out that music can be used, it can make people happy and moved. And music is like a kind of memory written in people's hearts. It can put you in touch with feelings from a totally different time and place.
It sounds like you had an eventful trip. Don't worry, I'm sure Ganyu...
Wait, does that mean you're gonna carry on working?
Mm-hmm. Just a few things to wrap up. As long as everyone enjoys the festival activities, all our efforts are worthwhile. Happy Lantern Rite to you as well.
That should be everything taken care of, right? Paimon feels like she's forgetting something. Shoot! Latent... Wait, no. And Zhongli said he wasn't in a hurry, so if we went now, there's Anyway, even if we don't make it, it's not our fault. He could've... Anyway, let's...
Пешком. Текстура. Текстура. Да. Вот да. Все, хоры. Потихоньку. Помаленьку. Ясно. Скуку, блядь.
Oh, all right. Let's take a break here.
Куку, блядь.
Oh wow, look who it is! Are you here to hang out with everyone? So you're just casually practicing your rapping skills at the entrance to your funeral parlor? In broad daylight?
After everything we've been through. You don't see me for a hot minute, and you're back to being scared. We have all this open space, a clear view of the mountains behind and the sea in front. Not to mention we have several
Invisible audience?
Gotta say, it took me a few days to get used to Director Who's way of talking.
Xinyan was pretty spooked too when she first got here. Just like when she sees a frog.
Come on, knock it off.
What's wrong? I've never seen someone look so confused before. Well, don't worry, because there once was a Fontaine musician who went around town on a mission. He came door to door with my words, Xinyan's chords, and Yunjin as our mentor. We'll take the stage by storm with flames roaring and the whole audience calling for more.
For sure! The whole dance floor will be yelling encore! Encore! Oh, now Paimon.
Oh, don't you worry about that. I'm pretty experienced on the stage, and I've already informed the Yuhong of all the pyrotechnics we're...
Huh. Guess we'll just have to trust Xinyan on this one.
Oh, Zhongli. He took one of those fancy meal boxes and set off for the mountains. Said he wanted to pay... It's a real pity that he couldn't be around for this. As well as being a true connoisseur of traditional art.
Yeah, that's right. Matter of fact, he was... To tell the truth, though, I never thought I'd really...
Well, now you know. The Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is a great location. I can speak to that. Hu Tao is always full of...
And jump scares.
Actually, Xinyan, I have some lyric ideas for your part. Do you want to go through them?
Sure thing.
Oh, Traveler and Paimon, I believe Zhongli was heading to Mount Hulao, so when you see Zhongli, please pass on this message to him. It's up to him whether he wants to support us at the performance tonight, but I expect him to make time, but you should join us too. It'll be a riot. If there's one thing I've learned from being a funeral director,
И куда нам? Так. Давай продолжайте жопу. Когда кончается-то скрин? Сейчас будет компас слиться. Блин, графику надо еще ниже ставить, что ли. Так, я не понял. Вот так вот. Идем так. Это так даже не помогает, блядь. Нет.
Paimon sees them! It's illuminated deer and illuminated bird number 2!
A familiar face. Have you come from Liyue Harbor?
Everything's great! But you know, if you're so curious, you can...
In fact, Mooncarver has been taking many walks on Mount Tianheng in recent times.
Zhongli! Here you are! We've brought the bamboo shoots you wanted.
Impeccable timing. Traditionally, bamboo shoot soup ought to be slow-cooked for many hours on low heat. Using Adeptus arts to hasten the process is something of a shortcut.
Wait, that mech?
Indeed. Cloud Retainer kindly lent me her supreme cuisine.
Can we not just call it a cooking machine? Actually, never mind. She seems to take a lot of pride in her mechanical gizmos, so it's probably best if Paimon doesn't go changing the...
I trust that you found the answers you were seeking during your recent journey. Excellent. The past should be remembered, but not overly dwelt upon. Our journey should be seen as a means to take on more. When the bamboo shoot soup is ready, I must insist that you try some for...
Oh, Zhongli! Huta told us to tell you some... She said, it's up to him whether he wants to support us at the performance tonight, but I expect him to make time for the upcoming banquet we're planning. When she says performance, she must mean the Lantern Rite Music Festival. As for the banquet, she didn't tell...
As you can see, I have a prior engagement with 2 Adepti friends of mine tonight. Please. As for the banquet, since the director insists, far be it from a mere consultant like myself to refuse.
Yay! Then we'll see you there?
Absolutely.
Rex Lapis, the bamboo shoot soup is ready.
Thank you. I will... The appearance is exquisite, and the aroma rich and intense. Since you came all this way, you should not leave empty-handed. Please, take some soup. It...
Что? Куда? А.
I'm honored to be here on the Iridescence Tour stage. All right, without further ado, I'm Xinyan, this is Hutao, and this is a little something called...
the Blaze Lilies!
I'm up here blazing trails through the midnight sky, lighting up the world below. And when the crowds all hear my voice, they'll meet the spirit of rock and roll.
Let's go! Hey, you butterfly, you too buzzing by, guiding your way to the afterlife, opening the path without a fright. Oh, I'll light the fire, watch it blaze across the universe. spit my rhymes, watch your step, or you'll get burned. Hey! Woo! Yeah!
Does anyone have any plans tomorrow? With another year behind us, I think we deserve a celebration of our own. My treat. Interested?
The Tianquan footing the bill? I can't miss out on that.
Master, listen!
May the year ahead be a blessed one.
I believe it shall be.
Master, the Xiao Lanterns,
Ha! Elementary. One shall fashion for you a Xiao Lantern the likes of which the world has never seen. And you must take it to Liyue Harbor to display its magnificence for all.
Listen! That must be Madame Ping!
Вот ты поберком. А, он чё, понял? Ну, в принципе, побер. Ну, блядь. Вот что тут. Понятно. Так, что у нас? Что, еще что-то? Сюжетка у нас что тут? Сюжетка, не лагай, блять. А, это эпилог. Ну, у нас еще осталась сюжетка, так что увидимся в следующей серии. Пока-пока.